what does your daily routine or daily habits kind of look like? Or basically, like, what was the turning point? Was it that video that you saw that said, like, holy shit, there's a way out of this mindset that I have? Like,
it was. And what I don't remember what he said, but something clicked. And I realized that I had to, like, the first and the hardest step that I went through was self-awareness. So I had to come to terms with, like, who I really was as a person.
Right.
And that was, like, the hardest thing in the world for me to do, because I was a piece of shit, to be honest.
Yeah, no one wants to look in the mirror and
Exactly.
acknowledge their downfalls.
So I started diving into meditation at that point. Is where I really started with it, and had to face all those demons and sit there. Like most people say, like, oh, I can't meditate, I can't sit there. And it's really facing that stuff. It's really sitting there, not being silent and, you know, like the gurus say. But it's more letting those thoughts process through your mind and let your mind work them out. And so going through that, once I realized this is who I am, I need to change, then I started doing more and more habits. And as I followed First Form and Andy Frisella and stuff like that, he was talking about all those habits that you do, and everybody that he had on his show. When I listened to him, it was back when he did the MFCEO project, and that was a little bit different. It was for entrepreneurs, and but he would bring people on. They would talk about doing certain habits every day, meditating, reading, working out, all this sort of stuff. So I just started following that direction, and as I did those habits and I went through it is where I really started to learn all the different stuff that I was learning. Like, it takes you down that path.
It does.
You guys know.
Yeah.
And you learn so much more. It's not just, oh, I'm reading, I'm working out. It's in the process of doing those things where things start to change for you. You start to change.
Yep.
And what I saw by doing all that stuff was very quickly my life changed. Like, my kids' lives changed, my wife's life, my work, everything changed. Everything I really kind of ever was searching for came to reality.
That's amazing.
But through doing those habits, so then
that
it
started
just...
for you with meditation.
Yes.
That's comforting for me because we had Dave Seidenberg on, and Seidy's become a really good friend of everybody here. He's always mentioned on here. He got me hooked up, or it made me aware of meditation. And I'm not saying I'm great at it. I'm not saying I do it every night, but I try to do it. And it's helped a lot. And I got some struggles going on right now, and I'm neglecting myself, but it helps get me some clarity now. And more beneficial to me, it's been beneficial to my kids. Like last night, my daughter hurt herself jumping on the trampoline. If you ask this girl, she broke her leg. She wouldn't walk. I had to carry her around the house for an hour and a half. I bring her upstairs, I get her in a bathtub, and I tell her, baby, you got to take 5 deep breaths. Then we did 5 more deep breaths. She calmed herself down. She starts moving her ankle. And I say that just to hammer home, it's brought them a little bit of peace. Now, they're young, and they don't have the racing thoughts that we have.
Yeah.
But it snaps them out of it. Even those 5, 10 quick deep breaths, which isn't really meditation, but you're focusing on finding your center.
Your breathing.
And it's helped them. And I see the pureness come back out of them in those moments. And I know it's attainable for me. And obviously it was attainable for you.
So do you still meditate every day?
I do.
How long?
10 minutes, 12
10
minutes.
Yeah. Morning, night, does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's I always... Well, I wouldn't say always, but since I started doing it, I was really for the morning.
Okay.
I was really pushing, get all my habits done.
Right.
Because that way I went out in the day as a better person, and it seemed like everything in my life was better that day if I had done my stuff in the morning. But now with my schedule, it's spread out.
Yeah. All right, good. But as long as as long as you're making that time window for yourself, because Dave was even saying. He was saying to us that day that he was here that the thoughts that you have at night are going to translate to how you feel in the morning. Yeah, so a lot of times for guys, myself included, the nighttime when the house is quiet is when kind of like those other voices start coming in. Yeah. The bills are due, you know, all the stress and everything else. Yeah. And like that stuff all starts to come in. And then, of course, you're going to wake up with that same type of panic reaction mode. And I personally was kind of piggybacking a little bit off of Andy Frisella, and I had this daily checklist for myself that I would do. And once I kind of was doing that, I had the same type of thing changed. It wasn't like my life changed. It was just my lens shifted. Yeah. Like I was filling my cup a little bit. I was doing gratitude lists.
Important, bro.
You know? Yeah. So now the nighttime is more like a prayer form that I found. But it honestly, and the same thing with Evan, it helps us fall asleep too. Because you're finding some gratitude there. You're being thankful, being grateful. So aside from the meditation, so now that meditation happens 10 minutes, you're doing it every day regardless. If you could do it in the morning, middle of the day, lunch break, coffee break, whatever it may be, you're finding that time.